Freshman's friend.
A delay? No.
There was this too, you fool.
Is everybody ready?
Yep. Everyone's ready.
Come back down. Yeah. Just come a little bit lower. A little bit.
All right, we're going. Ready? Yes? Right?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, hold on. Before, 1 second, we're a second behind. I feel okay about that. Stand by. Okay, and here we go.
Hello there and welcome to day 3 of AIDS 2024 from Munich, Germany. I'm Carl Schmid and this is the International AIDS Society and Plus Life Daily Kickoff Show, coming to you from what truly is the heart of the conference, the Global Village. Okay, we are now at the halfway point of AIDS 2024 so far. And this conference, which has convened literally thousands of people living with, affected by and working on AIDS, has delivered a full and exciting program with the focus of putting people first. In just a moment, we'll share some of the biggest moments from the last 24 hours and give you a preview of what to expect from today here in Munich, Germany. I'm also going to be having a discussion with a panel of young activists from around the world to get their take on AIDS 2024. Right now, though, let's get things started with a look at some of the biggest moments from the last 24 hours.
The work is in and upon the self. When I change me, I change the world. And what I sow, I reap. And if you believe in these 3 rules of empowerment, there's nothing that can stand in your way.
Excellence in HIV research related to children and adolescents was celebrated, with a special award being handed out at the Putting People First, the Way Forward plenary session. What is the potential for AI when it comes to HIV, and how can artificial intelligence provide support and guidance to those in need? The importance of community involvement, along with spreading key advocacy information about HIV, was front and center on the main stage in the Global Village for Walk of Life. Let the community walk, talk, and rock.
Together we can walk and we will walk till the end because we are not gonna give up.
Equity in Focus, UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Byanyima delivered a keynote address at a special session addressing inequality, AIDS, and pandemics.
Served us well in the HIV response. Indeed,
UNAIDS is not just focused on health equity when it comes to HIV, but also ensuring that people really are being put first when it comes to ending HIV. I caught up with Ben Phillips from UNAIDS to find out how we make sure that's actually being achieved. Lots going on here at the conference. What can we expect from Winnie's keynote speech on equity and focus?
So what Winnie's going to highlight is that success in the HIV response and justice in the HIV response are inseparable.
What's preventing us from preventing and hitting those targets of 2030?
What's preventing us is that we are leaving people behind. In fact, we're not just leaving people behind, we're pushing them outside. When you have hateful laws that tell people we will hunt you down for being gay, we will crush your life because you have a drug dependence, we will stigmatize and shame you because you're in sex work, and then you say to people, oh, can you come into the clinic? I mean, who wants to do that? And so we won't have prevention until we have inclusion.
Yeah, you know, the work that UNAIDS and so many other global organizations do is crucial to us ending HIV. And it's not just the work that they're doing. Here's some of what's being done by others that's coming up later today.
Three renowned scientists join moderator Juan Michael Porter to talk about global research collaborations, and they'll provide insights to lessons learned from the HIV pandemic. And a moment that everyone has been waiting for, a special AIDS 2024 Co-Chairs Choice session will reveal the exciting results of a new twice-yearly HIV prevention injectable.
There are some things, of course, being discussed at the meeting that I'm pretty excited about. lenacapavir, we cannot not talk about that.
That's like the big moment.
It's
I feel the
the-
Purpose One study results.
It's like vitamin L right now.
So as you can see, it's another action-packed day here at AIDS 2024. So what's this conference experience like for the next generation of activists and global leaders in the fight against HIV? Well, joining me now to give us their unique perspective on the event so far, we've got Gloria Alexander from Asha Foundation in India, Rahul Kumawat, who is part of the Positive Yuva Network in India, and Joyce Omar from Y Plus Global. Thank you all for being here. Now, I don't mean to be rude. Obviously, we're talking youth and activism, but you are part of a really important group of people. What is it that you hope that all these young activists get from this experience, Glory?
Well, AIDS 2024 is the world's largest conference on HIV. So you get to know about the latest updates, the latest research that's happening in the field of HIV. Youngsters get to meet each other, form friends, catch up with old friends, make new ones, and share their successes, their challenges, their failures. They learn from each other. So it's one of the most important conferences in the world, and everybody looks forward to being part of it.
And it's so great that your foundation and others are making it possible for young people from all over the world who ordinarily would think, I'm never going to get a chance to do that and be part of that. So thank you for that. Rahul, speaking of which, I mean, you've never been outside of India, have you? This is your first time overseas?
Yeah, this is my first time, of course.
What was it that made you want to come and be a part of AIDS 2024?
Okay, as you know that I've spent 18 years in my NGO RAISE, which you have visited too. And after that, we started our own organization too, which is Positive UA Network. But we are working, I would say, in a very short demographics, I would say, only in Rajasthan. And there are so many youth whose questions are coming out. They want to, they ask me a lot of things, some of the things about vaccines, what exactly progress on HIV is, going internationally or something. And I just have knowledge which I've read from Google or something like that. So I really wanted to get updates from the conference, what exact status of HIV is, how much progress we are doing as of now. This is my part of motivation to join conference, and I'm really excited to join all the sessions. I know it's difficult too.
Yeah, I was saying to you off camera, you can't do everything because there's so much here. There's a lot of walking. Joyce, we spoke to you the other day, but how is attending something like AIDS 2024, how does that help and inspire you to keep doing what you do, to inspire and embolden other young people living with HIV?
Great. Thank you so much, Carl.
Of course.
Attending this conference is, again, a very personal mission that I come to space to meet other young people living with HIV, other young programmers living with HIV. As you mentioned, I'm from the Global Network of Young People Living with HIV, so there's a lot of connections with other people living with HIV. But the uniqueness of this conference is that it brings together researchers, scientists, civil society as experts, and even farmers. So here we get to talk to each other. Here we get to share some of the lessons that we have learned in terms of our programming as young leaders. Here we get to demonstrate, protest. That was fun.
You get your voices heard.
Yeah,
which
we
is,
get our
that's
voices
really, but
heard.
that's really important
Yes.
too. Yeah.
So I think that's the uniqueness of this conference, and the fact that it happens predictably after every 2 years. We get to gear and plan towards attending it, even though sometimes some of our young people didn't make it because of visa issues. But nonetheless, we're here and we made our voices heard as well.
Yeah, and to that point, Glory, why must young people like Rahul and Joyce have their voices heard and have a seat at the table at conferences like this and others around the world?
Well, yesterday at the conference you heard about how the community are experts. And they're all part of the community and they are experts in the field. And they need to make their voices heard because we think we know what we're doing and they don't agree with us most times. So it's nice for them to voice their concerns and then we can listen to them and see if we can change things.
Yeah. So to that point, Rahul, what has your message been to when you've had an opportunity? I think you're doing something with former New Zealand Prime Minister. I mean, you're rubbing shoulders with really high-profile people here. What are you saying to them when you get the opportunity, other than hello, nice to meet you? What is the message you want them to hear from young people living with HIV?
I haven't think about it, but yeah, I think at today's situation or today's time, most of the cases are increasing. If I specifically talk about India, so the cases are increasing in most vulnerable population, I would say in youth specifically. And as a youth, I would say only we can understand them or they can understand our voices too. So I would like to say that we, like all the experts here, should support youth every possible way they can, so that we can reach more and more youth to transform them, or I would say support them in some ways.
Yeah, Gloria, I know you're, Joyce, I know you're not shy of having your voice heard. What's the message when you are having opportunities to meet with these people? What are you wanting them to hear on behalf of the youth living with HIV?
Great question. Yeah, and you're right. I'm not shy to get my voice heard because mostly it is not my own opinions, but those of other young people. Before we came to this conference, we conducted a youth consultation with young people just so that we understand and align our priorities. So I think in terms of what are the top 3 most priorities, the first one is invest and fund young people-led interventions and youth-led organizations. I think without funding, there's literally nothing we can do without funding, and I think that's the message across board. Secondly is, remove the immigration laws and legal barriers and all that. Because why this is very important to me, Carl, is there are people who got visas in a day, in 2 days, because they were older. But there are young women who, at a record of 60 days, still didn't get their visas because one, they were either flight risks or didn't have children or didn't own property. So that's the depth of inequality that we are talking about. And finally, I think the ethical and meaningful engagement of young people is very important. Partners, scientists, everyone always needs a reminder of why ethical engagement is important. And beautifully, we have also put this together in resources and guidelines, such as the We Matter Values guidelines that shows the elderly population, those living with aging, and many other beautiful terms that have been used to define the older population on how to ethically and meaningfully engage with young people.
Yeah, Rahul, what is it like for you to be able to mix with people like Joyce and other young people living with HIV from all over the world, and to be able to just share your personal experiences and on what it's been like for you growing up as someone living with HIV versus what someone like Joyce has experienced, or someone, maybe from one of the European countries or Australia or New Zealand? What's that been like?
I haven't been a part of that conversation or that kind of group. This is my very first time.
Yeah, but you're here and you've had now a couple of days to mix with people. What's it been like mixing with other young folk?
Yeah, so I'm also a part of Young Leaders program where I have connected more than 30 youth from a lot of countries, and we all came together. We shared our thoughts together. We are having some of the sessions on daily basis, and everyone is working in a different way with people living with HIV. Some of them are working on sexual and reproductive health. Some of them are working for advocacy, and that's somehow also inspiring me to do more and more. Also, support of each other is, I would say, a big deal for me, because somehow now I have an international, I would say, international group
Yeah.
who can support me in every possible way.
And that's fantastic, isn't it, Gloria? That
Yes, it
these
is,
connections and
absolutely.
these relationships that young people are making here will last a long time, and again, gives the opportunity to collaborate, share ideas, and that all ends in a positive way for
Yes.
us ending HIV.
And very important to know that you're not alone.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
you know that there are a whole
absolutely.
bunch of other people that you can work with and get to know, and it helps to share your thoughts.
Yeah, your experiences. Gloria, Rahul, Joyce, thank you all for spending your time, your morning with me this morning. It's been a pleasure to see you all, and thank you for sharing your time with us today as well. That is going to do it for today's International AIDS Society and Plus Life's daily kickoff show. Fear not, though, we're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place-ish, for day 4 of AIDS 2024 and everything you can expect there. I'm also going to be joined by some scientists and doctors who are attending the conference, and we're going to talk about how they are putting people first when it comes to HIV. Remember, if you want to share your thoughts on the discussion we just had or anything else related to the conference, be sure to follow, like, and share. We are at Plus Life Media across social platforms, and use the hashtag AIDS2024PlusLife. And if you're here attending the conference, come by and see us in the Global Village and say hello at the Plus Life stand. From all of us here at Plus Life, I'm Carl Schmidt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.